Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
This guy may be like the dumbest person on the face of the earth.
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
Did you hear what I said? There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp. 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. You know, that's just one step above stupid. Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, doing another late night one here. Trying to get those numbers up from earlier. Maybe there's some UK people watching, or people somewhere, who knows? Oh yeah? Yeah, so now we have a moderator named Jay Case. He's out there. He keeps thinking that I said that he believes that Dylan and Dylan and Bethany Funk are somehow involved in the murder because he's curious. And I never said that about him. The show the other night, or what night that was, I said that it was that guy that sent in the super chat who eventually turned out to admit that he thought that Dylan and Bethany were covering up for the real killer. Okay, and I've explained it to him 20 different times, but he seems to not listen or hear it or something, and I just don't have the time nor the patience to keep explaining it over and over again. I never referred to him. If you're out there and you're listening, I'm sorry that you feel the way that you do, but I'm not going to apologize to you because I wasn't talking to you. I apologize when I realize I did something wrong, and I didn't. All right? So if you're out there and you're somehow listening, you're incorrect. All right? And I would admit it if I was saying that. I literally said in the show yesterday, I said, yeah, and then there's people like Jay and Zozo that are just really curious about, how somebody might act like that, but they don't think they're involved. I mean, I don't think I could be more clear. So if you want to, just forget it, man. I don't have time. I don't have time. Right? So I know this is a later show, you guys, but it's just like any other show. So if you're out there and you're able to help support the channel, it was pretty weak on the previous show and the whole rest of the day. All right, so if you can, that'd be great for this late night show. All right. All right. I'm trying to get the month started off well. It's hard to recover when it's slow right at the beginning, and we've seen that. Let's see. I was going to show you. So, what we found out today was that, remember the interview I showed you yesterday where the boyfriend of. Hold on, let me just get the names. I got them sitting right here. Hey, thanks, Catherine Andrews. Yeah, so the mother's name is Jen Soto, and Stephan Sterns Sterns is the boyfriend of Jen Soto, and he was the one in the interview when we were playing it last night.
What's going
This one right here.
Maddie?
Well,
Right here, this one.
that she hung out in,
I mean, it's crazy, right? This guy right here is the
but
killer.
she never made it that walk.
And, you know, the mother says something like, we dropped him off, and that confuses people too. I mean, don't people sometimes refer to it like that? But she does say later that he dropped him off, I think, you know.
Across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street.
Oh, hold on, let me turn it up.
And walked to school, what we thought walked to school.
Thanks, Spencer.
My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards.
Hold on, let me rewind that.
She hung out. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school.
Yeah, she said right there, my boyfriend who drove her to school. Yeah, so she just kind of mixes up things every once in a while, but she does say right there, early on in this interview, that her boyfriend drove her to school.
He drove away at that point.
Right?
It
So
was
it's not a
seen
big
on
deal.
video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school.
Yeah, it turns out the person on the video at the church isn't, so let's see. Yeah, right here. So I was talking to the other, I think it was just last night or the night before, I can't remember. I was talking to Zozo, going like, look how far away this church is to the school. That doesn't even make any sense. I mean, you're going to drop a kid off here so they can go to school there? Why not just take them over there? So he says he dropped her off there, and then there was apparently this other girl walking around in the video, but it wasn't her. And she was supposed to go to school here, and nobody at the school called the mother during the day saying, hey, your daughter's not even here. So when she called there, or she got a call at like, maybe it was later, or she called over there, I think, and they said, oh yeah, she never made it to school. It's like, well, how come you don't have a policy where you call the parent? Wouldn't that make sense? Yeah, and then today there was helicopter footage. So I actually figured it out, like where the location was, based on this helicopter footage that was a helicopter. Man, I said helicopter. Wow. Hey y'all, you ever been on one of those helicopters? Oh man, that's pretty good. And the Skype number doesn't work. You ever been on one of? I'll sound like the late Sassmare. Hey Gray, you ever been on one of them helicopters? Yeah. Yeah, man, I love Sassmere was so awesome too, you know. Sassmere, love you, Gray. Remember that when she'd always say that? Who doesn't miss Sassmere? She was awesome. Another one of the freaks that our scholarship is in honor of, right? Man, I'm having a hard time saying it. Helicopter. Yeah, there you go. It's just weird. All right, let me go find this. I have it saved somewhere. LBS recordings. Go down to here. Gray, that isn't very nice. Were you making fun of people from the South? Oh my God. All right, here we go. So this is like the helicopter footage out in the area here. And, oh yeah, so how I figured it out before I had the street names was, I went on to I have a paid subscription to the Flight Radar, And I just said, you know what? There's probably helicopters flying around out there right now. And let me show you. And so I found this spot right here on flight radar. And they were all circling right around in this area. They were over here, but there's 2 helicopters here, right? So by looking at that, I went and found the lakes that look like that. So I know those are kind of in the area. So then I was up here, and I think it was like, right here, looking at those and see how that's the same right there. And then kind of got down into the area, and law enforcement was parked right here. They put yellow tape right on the street in this location going across. And then at one point there was these 2 people that seemed to look in the woods right there. And I don't think that's the spot, but they did look right there in that location. And that's where apparently they found Madeline Soto's body. I mean, absolutely disturbing crap here. And then this is the boyfriend right here after being brought in. I mean, look at this guy. The same wacko that was in the background in that interview. It could be the mother just didn't want to believe. She thought he loved her, but really he pretended to love her to get close to a young girl, which is exactly what these pedophile nutjobs do. Okay? I guarantee you that's what the reality is in this one. Now look at this. Look at this stuff right here. Some of it I'm uncomfortable reading, but I'll just sort of try to paraphrase some of it. So anyways, this is his arrest warrant, arrest warrant here. Digitally appears the affiant detective Brian Moore, a sworn law enforcement officer, blah, 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 blah. On February 26, 2024, at approximately 8 o'clock in the evening, so when it's blacked out, that's going to be Madeline Soto was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephan Sterns, picked her up from her home and dropped her off at Hunter Creek Middle School. So where was he then? I mean, where was the stepfather that he would have to go pick somebody up? I mean, didn't the stepfather live at the house? I don't really understand that part. So anyways, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunter Creek Middle School. The mother then went to pick Madeline up from school at dismissal and learned, that's right, she went there to pick her up, and learned that Madeline never showed up to school. An interview was conducted with something, Madeline, I don't know what that, who advised he picked up, I'm not sure what, I think it probably says right here, an interview was conducted with Madeline Soto's stepfather, Stephan Sterns, who advised he pick Madeline up and dropped her off in front of Peace United Methodist Preschool at 13502 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida, which was down the street from the school at 8:40 hours. Hunter Creek's middle school begins class at 9:30 a.m. A license plate reader captured Stephan's vehicle with Florida tag, IYLL82 driving. Looks like Madeline Soto during the interview. I don't know what driving. I don't know what's put in that one. During the interview with Stephan, he proved consent to search his phone. And listen to this. However, he stated he had accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone, aka Keegan Kline, on February 26, 2024, the same day she went missing. Wow! Yeah, that always happens. You ever notice that, you guys? Like you have something really important and your friend says, hey, do you have that information? And your hand slips, hits settings, and then goes over to this other place and then another place, and then you hit factory reset on accident. Yeah, that happens all the time. It's... hey, thanks up there to Jessica Schubach. Right. Yeah, let's see. So, the same day that Madeline went missing, and I don't know what that says right there. It's sort of interesting. After an extensive canvass of the area and interview with Madeline's family and friends, it was unusual for Madeline to be dropped off down the street from school and not stay in communication with family and friends. That's exactly what I was saying last night. I thought it was really strange. Didn't make any sense. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephan's phone, several images and videos were located which depicted her, basically I'll just say her private parts. And, really graphically described right here. And it was the focal point of the pictures. Like literally every body part that means he had these on his phone, right? There were also pictures and videos depicting her, again, her private parts and her mouth being, like he was putting himself there, okay, inside her. That's ridiculous. As such, the files depict the sexual performance, so it's child exploitation right here. Your affiant has probable cause to believe Stephan was in possession of material depicting child pornography. It should be noted that his Johnson was observed, in the physical act, had distinct markings on it, which consisted of bright pinkish colored skin below the head of his, penis, it says, until approximately a quarter. They literally describe what it looked like. Okay, and it says, I was observing several different pieces of clothing. Further, as your affiant was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include patterned underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. Based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to believe Stephan committed a sexual battery. Yeah, so he was assaulting her and took pictures of it, okay? This guy is a freaking monster right here. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, and a sexual predator. Note the low ears again, everybody. Note the low ears. Not to say all people with low ears, but, it's a... No, it's just horrendous. Man. Horrendous. And so I was trying to... There was different pictures out there that showed different locations, maybe, and I just wasn't able to find... Like, that's her and that's him. Or, vice versa. Her and him. But man, look at those ears. Look how low those suckers are. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, see that's that. See those little white things right there? That white, there's a whole row of white items there. And man, you should have seen when they were doing the helicopter footage. There must have been 1,000 turkeys. There were deer walking around. It was really startling how much wildlife was moving around. And so there's those white things right there. See, so it's right in this opening, and they appear to have gone. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's found. Like I have a pin back here because it looked like there was a couple shots where it was near like a garbage pile back in here, and I was just kind of wondering if maybe that's what this was at one time, or... Let's see. Yeah, so that's the most recent one there. It's interesting how it's got they got the 3D version too. So somewhere in here. Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is there really isn't much more to say other than he obviously is a sexual predator, and you kind of wonder. If I was them, I'd be looking around for other dead, people that went missing, girls that have gone missing that he was associated with, because you just don't start doing this at 40. What is he, 42 or something like that? There's no way in hell. This guy. He just quickly killed. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he dated somebody else at some point, and then later their kid went missing, but he'd already left, but he was still stalking on them. This is one where he got inside and he just couldn't control himself, but there might be other times where he tried to date somebody that had a kid, then they broke up, and then a few months later, that child goes missing. Now, maybe 37. I don't know. I think it said it on that document. Let me open that up again. Let's see. 86. Yeah, probably 37. 4/25, 1986. So yeah, 37 years old. He probably killed some more, don't you think? Yeah, these people. I mean, remember the April Tinsley case with John Miller? I mean, the FBI profile on that one was so awesome. I mean, it said that he'd likely live near a school or date somebody that has a kid, etc. I mean, so these people, they know how these people are. And if I was them, I'd be looking for more not bodies, but different individuals that have gone missing, and see if there's any sort of association at all with this guy, and wherever he's been. Yeah, that's the weird part, is what they were saying in that press conference, right? Where is there a full version of that? It seems like it started after they already started talking. Does anybody know where there's a longer version of that? I'd like to watch that again. The one that was, I think it was early this morning, right? Today's been a long day on here. And I've already done 4 hours of shows, 4.5 now. So he didn't work at Disney. Well, Disney would have a good reason to deny it, though, wouldn't they? I don't really care, like, okay, great, he worked at Disney, That's what they do. I mean, we don't need to dig into it or anything. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I was just watching your earlier show. Yeah, it was cool with the callers. But like I said before, you guys, if you're out there, I mean, you guys, I know you guys hate when I keep saying, hey, everybody help support the channel and everything, but that's what allows us to keep doing what we're doing all the time. And it seems like these days I have to constantly pitch it, or it just doesn't happen, so. No, I'm not taking callers. Why would I be taking callers on this one? Too many monsters in the world. Yep. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. It was near... Well, what do you mean you're just curious? If you weren't going to call, why were you just curious about it? That's weird. Man, that's strange. The only reason I ask is because there are conflicting stories, so just a heads up with regards to misinformation. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Rhonda. You're from Australia, right? G'day, mate. I was watching this video today. This guy was catching those barramundi or whatever that fish. Man, he was just so pumped. He wasn't really catching them. They kept striking his lure, and then these crocodiles he kept seeing, so he got the hell out of there. But he ended up catching one later. But he was so excited. Yeah, this case is so similar to Audrey Cunningham. It's not going to get as much press because, they've already done that one. This one's worse almost, though. It's crazy. This is just... there's no way they could be worse, but it's just... They're the same bad, I guess. But this one was literally a trusted person. I guess that's the difference. I guess in that one too, the guy was sort of a friend of the dad. But this one, this is a stepfather. I don't know what that means, Zozo. Does it really matter if you worked at Disneyland or not? That's what these guys do, right? He probably also tried to get a job near, live near a school, and that's pretty gross and everything. It's just, I don't know how it adds to the story, I guess. Okay, now you're admitting that you were just curious because maybe I was going to call. All right, I'll turn it on. I'll here we go. Now you admit it. Okay, there you go. If you said you were going to call, maybe I would have turned it on. There you go. There's the phone number. Well, I got to turn on Skype. Hold on. And there we go. Okay, ready to go. Don't you? I like it so much easier with this, just having a number like that, don't you think? If her mom was not involved, I wonder what she's thinking now with all of this evidence. Yeah, it seems like she should have been, or not should have been. I don't know. Sometimes these guys are really clever, and they convince the girl not to say something. And I'm wondering if, wouldn't it be crazy if somehow she was pregnant, and that's when he realized, okay, I can't control this. Because if he was continually doing this, something changed, right? Because he was always, he was doing this, it looks like, for a while with pictures and everything. So what changed? Did she say, hey, I'm going to tell mom? Or is there something else, like she got pregnant or something like that? Because something changed where then he had to kill her. Right, something like that. Zozo, that's what I just said, but yeah. Yeah, something like he was going to threaten to say something to somebody. What do you mean they were together? What do you mean? They were never really together. It was just, we don't know when those photographs were. Yeah, somebody sent me something on the side. I'll let you know what they sent me. This guy's he's got, I don't know, he has some crazy hacker friends or something, but it says, Stephan Sterns has multiple email handles and user accounts: Apple, Microsoft, Dropbox, Fitbit, Fling, PayPal, Pornhub, XNXX, X videos. Like a majority of the population, he made the mistake of reusing the same password across all accounts. So he's already downloaded this stuff into a folder. I'm not sure what the do with that, but yeah, we know. We just read all that, Mark. Thanks for telling us what we just all listened to. That's why you can see it on the screen right there, the arrest warrant. Did anyone else hear anything about him burning the body? No, I did not hear that. Is anybody calling in? You said you were calling in. Gaver Card Design or whatever the hell your name is there. So many unsubstantiated claims running. Yeah, I don't do those. All I care about right now is reading this, and we know where her body was found. We know the circumstances. All the other stuff is just people wanting to have something else to dig into and create something that, they'll eventually come up with the... All right, let me get this. That he works for the Ayatollah. Oh, wait. God, so weird. Hello, who's this?
Baby.
What's going on? There you go.
Here I am.
That's right.
So I just had a couple of things to bring up. I just entered your chat, so I've maybe missed a couple of things. Did you go through the mom's interviews?
Well, I just saw the one interview where he was in the background, and then there was one where he was crying on a chair or something like that.
Yeah, so the one where, that's the one, and she admits that her laptop was turned off, but yet the laptop was discarded earlier that morning. So how did Mom know the laptop was off?
Well, she was just saying that the laptop was off and they couldn't locate it or something.
Okay.
I think she was just assuming that. I don't know. I mean, that sort of makes sense, right? Like you can't locate, I don't know how you locate a laptop, by the way. I've never had somebody, maybe they're different now where they're sending signals up to a satellite or something. I don't know.
Maybe so. I just thought that it was odd for someone to say that their laptop was off. However, the laptop wasn't even in the house, right? That was my confusion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I don't know if she knew where it was at that time. When I remember listening, I didn't think they had possession of the laptop. They were still looking for it.
Right, because it was off.
Right. Because that's why she couldn't find it or something.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what was there another thing? Are you suspicious of the mom or something? Or?
I am.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I just am. I just thought her interview was odd, and I can't see chat or anything. But
like the original one. Yeah, it was the part that she cried a couple times, but then people go, "Wait, there was no tears, no tears." But I've seen people, actually innocent people, that cried like that with no tears. So remember that case in Australia? Remember that case in Australia where there was like a mother and a father and this little girl? They were camping and right near the coast, and then the girl goes missing, and everybody blamed the parents because they didn't cry or look exactly the way everybody wanted. And then it turns out some random sort of, I think he was a Aborigine person abducted her from the park and took her all the way back into a town, but she was still alive. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember the name of the child, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And thank goodness.
Yeah, so it's hard for me. I used to, everybody, when Chris Watts was arrested, everybody goes, "Oh, look at that," because he was obvious. He was just, look at this guy, right? But after that, everybody thinks that we're all he blinked twice, so he must be. And I can't tell you how many times where there's these innocent people and they just don't look like how we think people are supposed to look like. Just like you might say Dylan and Bethany didn't act the way that everyone else wants them to act. Therefore, they're guilty of something, or so. I don't know. I mean, I saw the same peculiarities when I'm watching her. Just kind of like, But I've learned over time that people are just different. Some people don't have the same.
They are.
You know.
I agree. I was just listening to her words. I don't really pay attention to people's body language. I just listened to their words, and I don't know, it just seemed, there were just some things that she said that I thought sounded odd. Like, I just want her back, whatever that means.
Oh, him?
Whenever she said, I just want her back, whatever that means. I just thought that was a weird thing to say.
Who said that? Her?
The mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just want her back, whatever that means.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. I'll have to watch the interview again. There was just some odd things about her words.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, I don't know if anybody else is still in that in the chat. I can't see the chat, but that's just.
I think there's people that probably think that. You know, I mean, I think most people think that. I think most people think that they were weird sounding. I just like, you know, she was on camera talking, and you know, sometimes people aren't the same even on camera. I mean, some people, like I guess in Audrey Cunningham's mother, she told Nancy Grace that she cries all the time, but on there she's just, you know, trying to get the information out. You know, but people just, you know, I don't know. I see what what you're seeing, so I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me either way, I guess is what I would say.
Right. It's just odd to think that something like that could be going on in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mom not know. It's actually just a very scary thought, because I think in the affidavit, I think it had been going on since was it 2 years, that the images they found on his phone that happened in the household. Is that how I understand that, or how everybody else understands that?
Which part? About the phone? What?
About the images on the phone.
Yeah, they were all in the house, and that's
right.
where they think
weren't
she
those
was
from
killed.
Like a couple years back?
Well, they didn't say the dates.
From my understanding.
They didn't say the dates. So where did people
get I thought it was
the...
in the first paragraph of the affidavit.
Maybe,
I might be wrong.
Maybe it is. Let me see. Oh, yeah, maybe. Let's see. I believe that certain laws have been violated, and that between March 20, 2022 until 12/3/2023, the defendant, Stephan Michael Sterns, did violate Florida state. So that's probably a pretty good assumption then. That means from like March of basically 2 years ago until just like 2 months ago, he had these pictures in there. So then you I bet you they've been dating almost that same amount of time.
How scary is that?
And he's not really the stepfather, is he? I thought they were just boyfriend. Yeah, so why does this document say that, though?
I know, that's weird too, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why it says stepfather. Unless they're weighing their relationship on like a common law marriage. In some states, people think if you've been together for 7 years, it's like common law marriage.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're not legally married.
Yeah, that's sort of interesting, though. Yeah, I wasn't sure why they were saying that in this document, but in the articles, it was just boyfriend. Even she says that, right? Didn't she say, my boyfriend dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
First she said, we.
Yeah, but almost immediately.
In the interview,
almost immediately.
It up too.
Yeah, but she was, you know. See, I think that's
in
just
the Liz message, I think is really interesting too, being that Maddie was found in the woods, and the message, in my opinion, seemed staged. That's just my opinion. I really don't think that's a message that Maddie sent, in my opinion only. I mean, and maybe somebody else's, I don't know. I just don't think, I don't know, it just doesn't. It just reminds me of the Gannon Stouts case, where there were messages supposedly Gannon sent that, I mean, he really didn't send. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't send any of that. Well, I don't know. I don't really have any. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around. People are talking about who's Cleo. Oh, Cleo is the name of that case in Australia. Yeah. But
Yeah, that's it.
But somebody said something about the brother of this guy did the same thing. Where are you getting that information? I mean, it is sort of a genetic thing at times, to be honest with you. I actually looked it up.
Oh, I haven't heard that. I need to do some Facebook stalking, I guess.
Notice his low ears. That's what I'll tell you. Notice the low ears. Try to find whenever you find. That doesn't mean all people with low ears, but it's amazing how many people have the low ears that are the deviants like this. Kind of interesting. Not saying that everybody with low ears is a deviant, but it's amazing the number of people. It's strange. And I think there might actually be something to that. I asked somebody at one point in the world of the medical world, and they were like, "Yeah, you know what? There might actually be something to that." Strange.
But did you ever Google it, though? That's where you get the real answers.
I wouldn't. I didn't do it. But that's something I always notice. It's weird, strange. They're like abnormally always like low, like below the nose almost. You know, just.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that it's just a Google search away. I really do.
I don't think they'd put it in there because it would be too. It would make people feel bad that have low ears that aren't like that. So they wouldn't put an article like that. It's probably more anecdotal. But, the brother of the Aboriginal guy.
I didn't want to take up too much of your time or be annoying to people in chat. I mean, those were some of my faults, and I think I have more. I have some notes written down, but.
Well, I think people are suspicious, but. I think once you go down the route of being suspicious, you can find a ton of things, and all of them could just be totally not anything at all. But you'll see them and want to. Okay, yeah, that confirms my bias, right?
And the mom could be completely innocent, and she may be, for all we know, she might be involved in some sort of an abusive relationship.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean. Exactly. There's things we just don't know. Why is he sitting in the background of the interview popping his knuckles like, don't say anything,
yeah.
or else.
Well, I got to fix something, though. So a minute ago I was saying the brother of this guy did something before, but Zozo didn't explain it when she typed it in. Before, she was talking about the guy in Australia's, the Aboriginal guy's brother had done something like that before. Even though that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. But yeah, that's all. I love that.
I make typos in chat all the time, so I can totally relate.
Yeah, well, the thing was when people type in, you got to type in full sentences, so people know what you're talking about, Well,
sometimes I accidentally hit enter before completing my sentence. I am very guilty of that.
Well, here's what I do. What people do a lot is I'll say something like, "Hey, what time do you guys want me to do a show or something?" And then 30 minutes later, when somebody's on rewind, they go, 8. They just type in an 8 or something. And I go, what the hell does that even mean? 8. Well,
YouTube has been doing some really odd things on some of the channels. Whenever a commercial comes up, it will restart you at the very beginning of the show, which is wild.
Oh, really?
I hope that they fixed that. But
when an ad pops up
this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like whenever an ad pops up, it'll totally just take you back to the beginning of the show.
That's crazy.
It's very odd. So that could have been what it was. It could have been something like that. And they're like, yeah, it started at 8.
No,
and they're like, I've been here for like an hour.
But people come in and they intentionally go to rewind because they want to watch the whole show, and they start chatting as if it's live.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that myself.
I've done that before, too. I'm guilty of all the things, just saying.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But those were just my thoughts, and I think I had more, but I don't know. I probably should go to bed, but I'll still be listening. I don't want to annoy people in chat. Those were just, and I don't want to annoy you either, but those were just my thoughts.
Yeah.
The things that I have on my mind, and Mom could be completely innocent, but I'm very, I just have so many feelings. And I know that people aren't supposed to act, a certain way. I mean, until we're put in that position, we don't know how we would act or react.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some of her words were odd to me. So, and it
what's weird is I have more people watching.
Nothing.
I have more people watching this late show than I had the entire earlier show. Isn't that weird?
Well, yeah, I have that same issue on TikTok when I go live on TikTok. I'll go live late and there'll be like so many people in there and they don't even know what I'm doing. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just making a card. That's it. But there'll be more people sitting there at night. It's just, people like to hang out and listen to live chats later on at night. Just saying. They like it.
Yeah, well, we got to get the the support for the channel higher during this late time too, though, because that's
everybody
what helps.
Hit the like button
and send in super chats. Okay,
and send a super chat if you have it.
If you can.
We don't want anybody going broke over here, but
that's what I always say.
If you have it,
I always say
support the channel.
If you can,
and hit the like.
Support the channel.
Yeah.
But if it affects your life in any way, don't send it in. All right. Anyways, maybe we'll listen to the interview.
Please.
Just listen to it on the side again. But
I would love to listen to it again.
I don't think I'm going to play it because they might get angry at that. But all right, well, here we go. Let's do it. So thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I hope y'all have a very great night.
Well, you too.
And weekend.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Tell us what's going on with Maddie.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street.
I wonder if he told her to say we. Because she almost immediately doesn't say that. Watch.
And walked to school.
I'm not showing it to you. That's why you can't see it. I just told you.
My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point.
My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away.
It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media. None of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her.
You said he didn't.
Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before, and she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very...
See, I guess you could say that, if you were going to be Avi here, say, wow, that's a little convenient that she just happened to leave her phone and she's making excuses for it. You know? Like, leaving her phone at home, it's normal and everything. But that's just right up there with, you're making an excuse for why it's at home.
Very forgetful.
Thanks, Kathy Chapin. She's
so
starting
she
the wave,
her phone
everybody.
At home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff.
Let me read that again.
Which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful. So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Yeah, I guess that's a little weird too, right? She said that's off, so it's not pinging. But how do you, yeah, I guess like, how would you know that it was off? Well, she could just know it's off because it's not pinging, but laptops don't ping, right? Okay, I mean, laptops don't ping, so I don't really understand. You know, maybe she's assuming it's off because it's not pinging, but I've never seen a laptop ping unless you've got like a... I mean, I guess if it's... No, you'd have to have like some SIM card in it or something. Hey, thanks, Kathy chipping in. Rhonda A.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have like met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, you know, if she's got a crush with anyone, and she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages,
Really?
all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed to...
So I don't have a laptop that pings, that's connected to satellites. I don't know how you could find your laptop from your iPhone. Did you have something connected on your laptop, like one of those little Apple locator things? I don't know what they're called. But.
Weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken, because this is not like her at all, to just disappear and not tell us, not let us know where she's going or who she's with.
It's so weird. He's just sitting back there.
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching for her? I mean, what happens now? I mean, especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs.
Yeah, no, he took her.
They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent.
He took her far away.
They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her.
20 miles away.
But I don't feel like...
And they're saying, remember in the press conference, they said that they think that in the middle of the night, so that's a little bit, that was something that was bothering me a little bit too, about the mom earlier, just on my own, you know. It's like, don't you think it's strange that, like if she was killed in the middle of the night and this guy took her somewhere, how come in the morning she didn't get up and say, hey, where's Madeline? I mean, she was just okay. I mean, so, okay. So he went over and picked her up to take her to school. But where were you? And he said he came over to pick her up to go to school, but if she's already dead, like, how did that all play out? How does that make sense, you know? Like, that's the part that doesn't really make sense. Like, she's already dead, and he came there to pick her up to go to school, but apparently you can see her in the vehicle at some point. I don't know, man. That part's odd. That part bothered me yesterday, even when I was, or whenever I watched this. I don't even remember now. I think it was last night.
That's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar, and like her personal belongings, and nothing is hers. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
As a mom, you know, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
Did. Look at this guy over here.
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back whatever that means. I just want her back.
Actually, what she's saying, whatever that means, is like, because she said, if she can come back harmed, I don't want her harmed, but I just want her back. Whatever that means, meaning like either one of those scenarios, regardless, she just wants her back.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning.
I mean, I guess the thing I'm wondering is, like, if she was killed in the middle of the night, how did the mother not in the morning notice that her kid wasn't around and alive to be picked up to go to school? It's possible maybe she has like an early job where she gets up and didn't check to see if her daughter was in the room, and then called her boyfriend and said, hey, can you take her to school, something like that, and then he took that opportunity to do that, something like that. But
contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she, just being a teenager, was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go hang out at so and so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks, or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family, and she had the best day.
Yeah, see, like, this kind of conversation here makes it seem like she's absolutely, because this is just like a genuine sort of, like, yeah, we haven't argued in a few weeks, and she seemed like she had a good, that seems natural to me. So, I don't know. I'm actually lean more to her not being involved in something. But it wouldn't shock me at all if there was some way that she knew a little bit more or something like that.
She was so happy. She showed us all her gifts. She's just a happy girl, and
yeah, that's what she sounds like.
She showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So she had the best day. I just.
Because when she's talking here, she seems like she's literally picturing in her mind how her daughter had a great day.
There was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans.
That's weird too, because it's not too long after that the monster in the background over here likely went in there and, like, I don't know. I mean, how did this play out? I mean, is this guy... I want to know where this guy lives, because it sounded like he went there to pick her up. Ah, shit. Hello? Who's this? Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, jeez. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
How you doing? I've talked to you in a while, yeah.
Yeah. We're just going over this case here. Hope it's related.
Yeah, it's definitely related. This case, I'm just not updated with it. What happened here?
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Just a quick 30 seconds little thing.
This case,
I know you got to get back to work.
Yeah, well, there's a, hold on. A girl named Madeline Soto who has a mom named Jen Soto, and she has a boyfriend, I don't know if he's living or not, named Stephan Sterns, and he apparently on Monday night abducted the daughter in the middle of the night and killed her. God.
Oh God.
Somewhere.
Did they find the body?
Yeah, they found her body today. So.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, I just want to know that. I'll let you get back to work, and I'll see you get.
What's been going on?
Else calls in. Yeah, good. Yeah, everything's good. I've just been busy.
No, you got your. I always like your voice, though. It sounds like New Jersey or something. No, wait, where are you from? Boston? Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
That was my next guess. I remember that.
Yeah, born and raised. Yeah.
You probably didn't like that I said Jersey.
I lived upstate in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get off of drugs. I was real bad on drugs. I hurt my ankle real bad and got addicted to painkillers, and I got off it, so I never went to the heroin and fentanyl, and my brother overdosed on fentanyl. I talked to you about that before.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since 2007, I had never been addicted to opioids ever again.
Well, good job, man.
It's hard, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Yeah, well, don't go back.
People think it's just the withdrawal. It's the post-acute withdrawal, like your mind. Like I didn't start feeling normal for like a year. Like it's hard. Anybody that does it, like it's hard. It's a struggle. Yeah. That's why. But you really have to want to do it, and you got to place yourself around people that care about you, that won't let you make that bad decision. Because I mean, you're a product of your environment. Yeah. If you hang with bad people, guess what? You're going to be a bad person. It's just that simple.
Well, good job, man. Look at everybody in the chat. It's like, hey, good job, Brian.
Yeah, yeah. I remember hearing about how you lost a brother. I was just saying, me and my brother were best friends. We were like roomies forever. And to find him dead, like I was about to commit suicide. My brother had to come take my gun. Like I was that bad because I was really drunk that day, and I blame myself for being very drunk. Because if I wasn't drunk, maybe I would have noticed he didn't look right sooner. Maybe they could have got the Narcan in him sooner. Do you know what I mean? And like I played that through my mind, and then my brother grabbed me. He's like, "It's not your fault." Like I would have. It was horrible.
Oh man.
Yep. Yeah, and it was just the 5-year anniversary in August, and it seems like it was just. I can still remember it like it was yesterday. It sucks. There's no other way. This fentanyl epidemic, and that's another thing that doesn't get talked about at the border. We could completely secure that so no fentanyl comes in unless it comes in corruptly. Yeah. And if people that do that, you get the death penalty. This fentanyl is killing 100,000 of our citizens last year.
I know.
100,000, okay?
We should do what Singapore does.
100,000 people.
Singapore executes anybody to do any drugs of any kind, bring them in there, just execute it. Any selling, anything.
Drug dealers, how many people they kill during their lifetime, they should get the death penalty. And drug cartels in Mexico, they should be designated as terrorists. They're killing us, Gray. We're allowing so many bad people in this country. We already have so many bad people that don't even know what the First Amendment is. They can't even read and write. We have so many of our own issues. Our border has to be completely shut down for at least 6 months. Until we get the problem is
whenever I talk about the border in here, you got all the hardcore lefties that get so angry, and they go, "I'm never watching your show again. I'm never watching your show again." I get really frustrated.
I never voted in my life. My brother's a diehard Democrat, and my brother that passed away, he was a diehard Republican. And like they used to argue over Trump and Hillary in 2016. They were some of the best debates. Because they both had their points, like different. But see, me, I never voted. I never got, because I think politics is corruption. Until that gets out there, I can't vote. I'm sorry. Because some of that stuff where we're sending money and looking at our cities, the people struggling here, all this money we're giving illegal immigrants. And I hate, what's the new word? Newcomers? No, illegal.
Yeah, they're called newcomers.
We're a country of laws. If we don't have laws, guess what? We don't have a country. Do we want to have a country? Are people fucking idiots? Common sense, where is it?
Yeah,
these young kids, what are they teaching these kids in school? I want to know the Harvard's president IQ score and the, like, just say 20 years ago, that person's IQ score. I guarantee it's much higher because our education system is failing our kids.
Well, somehow it doesn't.
I'm just sick of it. Yeah. Because our country, it's too great of a nation. And I don't have any kids. I have nieces and nephews. But, like, I just want it to be a good country for them. That's it. Safe, secure. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny, though, is when I talk about the same thing, people get, like, I don't get the same comments from Jessica Schubach and everybody going, "Go, Brian!" There, everybody's like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," and people get like too upset. It's like, so here's the thing, everybody.
No.
If you're, hold on, let me speak. Let me speak here. Let me speak. Hey, Brian, let me speak for a second. So the thing is when the truth is the border is a catastrophe. Okay, it is absolutely destroying the country. People are coming in, and remember when Trump a long time ago said they're not sending their best and everything, and everybody got so offended by it. God. People that come over there's a lot of killers and shitty people. I would say most people are here to look for work and find stuff like that. But the problem is it's so porous that the worst of the worst come through, and most of them aren't even caught. And they're among us right now. So if you're not armed, everybody, make sure you're nice. You got your self-protection and you're able to take care of business because this is going to get
And you
nutty.
always have to watch your six. If you can't have a gun, you always just got to keep an eye out. You got to keep your head on a swivel, like you really do.
Yeah.
And how many cities are sanctuary cities? And I just do not understand these people in New York, okay? That guy that killed that poor Georgia student, nursing student, okay, he gets arrested in New York, gets released, and goes down there and kills an innocent girl. And my sister's a nurse. I'm just imagining if that happened to her, this guy's lucky he's behind bars because he would be dead man walking, and I'll say it, I'll do it, I don't give a shit. You kill one of my family members and you don't get court justice, you're getting street justice. I don't care. I'm an eye for an eye type of guy. We're too soft on criminals. I'm sorry. The crime is rampant in our own country before all these illegal immigrants came in because we are soft on crime. The only way to deter crime is stiff penalties, so criminals will think, damn, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do 10 years in state prison. Instead, oh my God, if I get caught, I'll probably get probation. Somebody has got off with murder for freaking probation because they were high on weed, a girl. Like, are you kidding me? Blaming pot and this brutally stabbed her boyfriend 103 times. Okay, put her in a mental institution for life or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Soft, weak, wokeness, weasels. I guess that's what trolls are. I don't know, but it's just absolutely insane, this country, and I just believe it's too great of a country for us, and it's up to us adults that still have a brain cell and common sense to lead the kids, and I'm willing to help, because it's going to take everyone.
Wrong,
of us.
Unseen. So look at people like Unseen. Violent crime is at a 60-year low. right, after they recalibrate it. You guys are nuts.
You know,
these people are crazy people, right?
And so much doesn't get reported. And you got to remember, cops, they don't want to arrest people because they know they're going to be let out.
You know what I always love the rate game that the Democrats play all the time. Here's what they do: the rate. Look at the rate. Like I remember it was like when. So I think George Bush increased our national debt. Let's just throw out a number, like from $5 trillion to $10 trillion, right? So that was $5 trillion dollars. But then when Obama came in, he increased it from 10 to 19, and they go, look, that's a lower rate. He only went up 90% when Bush went up 100% because he went from 5 to 10, and so that's doubling it. But Obama only went from 10 to 19, so therefore he only did 90%. Well, no, you raised it $9 trillion where Bush only raised it $5 trillion. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's the rate game. They love that one.
And that's common sense. Like, and I really think, and see, people defy common sense. I think the best way I describe it is, in the criminal justice system now, people want you guilty beyond all doubt. Reasonable doubt is common sense. Okay? Because if that person didn't commit the crime, then who did? You don't got to be beyond all that. It's reasonable. And people's definition of reasonable is different, and that's what we have to get back to. We have to get back to common sense. Okay? If it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, okay? It's just like the simple shit that I just don't I don't know why these people want to do this to this country. But I don't know. I think it might be another country infiltrating us. Like all these Chinese, they're buying up shit by our military bases. What's going on? Why are we allowing this? It's we the people. And we could march and demand, no, China, get the fuck away from our military bases. Or guess what? We're not voting for your cocksuckers.
Wait, hold on a second. I gotta pause because what are you I can't see Sirius Black's comments for some reason. So what are you guys even talking about in there? Over and over and over and over and over again. All right, so send me something or just quit talking about something that I can't see. I can't read any comments by her. All right, so either send it to me or not. All right. It's ridiculous. God, just over and over and over.
How did last month go with donations?
The whole month we were 1,000 something less than the month before, but. Like it was a shorter month. Yeah. I guess it was.
And I was thinking, instead of saying it, like just say it before the video and just maybe like every 10 minutes.
People don't listen to it.
People are busy.
No, but here's the reality. Here's the reality.
You have to remind people just to get it in their head because some people are busy and they forget.
Remind them, but they don't listen anymore. Every time now when I say, hey everybody, if you could help support the channel, it's crickets. They don't really give a shit. So when somebody else, like Zozo or somebody else goes, hey everybody, jump on a wave, they go, yay. But when I say it, the guy actually doing the show, nobody listens. It's really frustrating.
Yeah,
So,
that is. I would be frustrated too. Because like I said, you got to make money for putting in your time, and you give money to charity.
Yeah.
Nobody else on YouTube does that.
Obviously, it doesn't matter.
No, because that's what I respect about you. You're not greedy, and that's another problem. That I hate greedy people. I hate them. Oh, I hate them with a passion.
No,
Greedy
I'm not on
people
Top
that
Chat.
all they care about is money. There's more to life than money. Like there really is. I had money before.
Yeah. But anyways,
of course,
I want to get back to the. I want to
but
get back to
then
the. I got to get back to the topic that we were on. Okay.
Oh yeah, get back to the topic.
But anyways, I agree with your
thanks.
sentiments there on all the other shit. So thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good talk, and thank you for informing me about this case. The basis. Now I'm gonna watch the rest of the show. Thank you.
Keep kicking ass on
bye-bye.
not doing the drugs. All right.
Oh damn right, never again.
Okay. All right, man. See ya.
All right, thanks. Bye. Later.
Yeah. So, anyways, does anybody have the? Send me the link or something. I have no idea what you guys are even talking about. I tried to find up there. Everyone's going, "Wow, Sirius Black," and I scroll up there. Her name doesn't show up at all. One time, but it's not related to that. So, what is it that you guys are referring to? You already have it. What? Then just type it in. What is it? That's all you got to do. Jesus. Oh yeah. Well, then how come everybody like Jessica Schubach and everybody was like, "Wow, I've already gone over the arrest warrant. You guys want me to do it again?"
Anyone? I didn't see any of that.
But she's spent the whole Sunday celebrating her 13th birthday. Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday?
No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, Sirius Black. I couldn't tell what anybody was talking about. Even Zozo was like, "Really? Wow." Hello, who's this?
Hey. One of the people watching your channel. You're doing the Stephan Sterns thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was that kid's best friend for like a decade.
Oh yeah. When?
Yeah, we grew up together.
You know what's
here
funny
in
is you found it almost exactly like the last caller, just barely different. Our buddy Brian.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Are you from Pennsylvania?
But no, we were from Florida.
Oh, okay. So what?
Yeah,
you were friends with him. So what happened?
Yeah, so we had a falling out like 12 years ago, but he still floats in the same circles because he moved up and down the state apparently, like doing real estate with his mom and dad. But he started working for Disney, and I know he's still working there in like September, but I don't think he's working there anymore because Disney made a statement or something about it. But
they said he never worked there.
He was okay. Well, no, he has pictures on his Instagram. Yeah. Of like his 1 year badge and stuff.
Well, no, somebody in the chat said that Disney put out a statement saying he never worked there. Maybe they just said he doesn't work there.
Yeah, no, they did. But from what I understand, because I know a lot of people at Disney, I bartended in this area. Uh-huh. He was actually in the T-Rex area at Epcot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he worked. I don't know if like he's not working. I mean, he could have quit after September, but I know in September he's still working there. Because he had pictures on his Instagram. Because people always send me crap about him because we were best friends for so long, and then we had a falling out because he drew a gun on me over a disagreement. So I just cut ties with him completely. But some of the stuff that kid did growing up was so crazy. So a year after we stopped being friends, one of our mutual friends was going through hard times and needed a cheap place to live. So he moved in with him. And this kid's like an IT wizard. So essentially what happened is a year after that, they had a falling out. And I convinced my buddy to tell me what happened. And apparently what had happened was he had been cleaning up the network and found a shared folder between their computers where Stephan had been secretly hiding a camera in his room and recording his girlfriend coming in and out of the shower.
Oh, jeez.
And from what I understand, there was kids stuff on there as well. And like I said, my buddy was going through a really hard time, like literally broke. And from what I understand, Stephan's mom paid off my buddy to not talk about it.
And so he was cleaning up the network and found images that this Stephan guy's kind of a moron, isn't he? I mean, he does.
It's something like all of us are friends. So like a lot of us old friends from high school, they've all been blowing me up for like the last 2 days about all this. And that's kind of the agreement we've all come to too. We're like, wow, he was actually really, really dumb. Like all of this is so stupid. Like it's kind of crazy because he was kind of a smart kid, but he had social issues a little bit. But I mean, he partied. I threw parties all the time, and he always came out and partied. I mean, me and him were basically attached at the hip. We lived together. We lived in the same room for like 5 years. Like, that's why all this is so crazy to see all this going down, and just like the amount of people that are flooding me constantly about it. But his mom his dad is pretty normal. It always seemed like his dad didn't like the rest of the family. And his brother seemed to distance himself from I knew this kid. We were attached at the hip for a better part of a decade, and I never once saw his brother. I think his brother was military or something like that.
Well, what can you tell us about,
North Carolina.
How long do you know this guy for?
I moved here from Japan when I was like 17, so probably until I was 27. We lived together for probably 6-7 of those years.
Wow. So like, what can you tell? Like, remembering back, what do you know about him? I mean, just how was he like when you go to bars and the girls and whatever, Yeah,
all that was like, there's one time recently, and that's because she actually messaged me today. She's married with kids now and everything like that, but there was one girl who messaged me, and we didn't let him bring her to parties. He had to be 20, probably 20 at the time, and he was dating a girl who was 17. And we were like, no, sorry, she's not allowed. So none of us really interacted with her, so I don't really know too much about that, but we do know he was dating a young girl.
And what did she look
like?
None of us... Was she really
She was
young?
Asian.
Oh, she was Asian and really small then?
Yeah, she was tiny and Asian, yeah.
Okay.
She was literally tiny and Asian. 4'11" maybe.
Well, my wife's she's a really small. She's only like 4 foot.
Yeah.
5 or 7.
And this girl was too. She was super tiny. And so we thought that was a little weird, but this girl had messaged me earlier today, and she made a comment about that same thing that I'm saying now. And we were all told she was 17. She told me today on Instagram that she was 14 at the time. So that dramatically changes all of that.
Oh, wow. So the same girl that he told you was 17 was only 14?
Yeah, because she mentioned that today in the Instagram.
Wow, that's insane. So what was this part about a gun up above? I think I missed that. I was trying to take care of some business.
So we were living together. I don't know, probably a couple years into this was at the end of our relationship. So we had a disagreement because there was a lot of issues wrong with the house we were renting through his dad. And I didn't want to pay rent because, like, a whole bunch of these issues, AC, garage, all these things hadn't been fixed, and my car was pinned in the garage. And this went on for, like, months. So finally I refused to pay rent. I was like, look, you got to fix these issues. I'm like, this can't go on any longer. I'm not paying rent until you fix these issues. And his son flipped out on me because I guess his dad was giving him a hard time trying to get Stephan to give the money to pay the rent. And I was just like, no, not until you fix these problems. And Stephan flipped out the house, threw a temper tantrum. And I mean a legit, like, 3-year-old temper tantrum, laying on the ground, a grown man pounding and kicking his feet into the ground and screaming and yelling. And he does all this, proceeds to run into the room, grab his gun, and draw a gun on me.
Wow.
We get into a scuffle after that. I leave. I never come back. My dad gives me money because I'm broke. I'm broke, 20-year-old at the time, like bouncing between jobs. And he gives me the money to break the lease because I told him what happened. He's like, you need to get out of there. So he gives me the money, break the lease with everything, and I left. So that was the last I talked to the kid personally.
Wow.
But then a year after that, our mutual buddy moved in, and that's when all the camera stuff and all that went down.
But like, did you move back in with him somehow again after that? Or even though
No. After the gut thing, I never talked to the kid again.
Okay.
We just float in the same circle. So, like, every time he hangs out with someone I know or messages someone I know, I get all these messages on Facebook or Instagram from, whoever it is.
And so how long ago was this server moment where he was at work and...
Oh, this wasn't at work. This was at the house. My buddy was just, like, going... So he's, like... He's a rare breed. He loves IT networking. Like, he's not good at IT networking. He loves IT networking. Like, he loves going through networks and cleaning things and making things move faster and 3D printing. He's just one of those guys. Mm-hmm. And so he was still going through school and everything. So he's playing around on the network at the house and going through it. And that's where he found a shared folder between Stephan's computer and his computer on the network. And he thought that was just weird that there was even a folder there. So that's when he went into it, and that's where he saw a whole bunch of young kid stuff and
why did he put it in
videos
a shared
and pictures
place?
of his girlfriend.
I mean, that's sort of weird.
Because Stephan's an idiot.
I mean, a shared folder on a network.
Yeah, it was literally like connected. It was in the middle of the network, like a portioned off section that Lance had for like when we want to bounce files back and to and fro in the house. And it was just like that, something quick and easy. We were all wired together because we're all gamers. So
he had like CSAM material and his girlfriend on there, or child pornography and his girlfriend, and my buddy, the IT guy's girlfriend, from a hidden camera in their bedroom. Wow.
Yeah, because he also lived in the house. I don't know if I stated that earlier, but even when I lived there, like, we lived together because his dad owned the place, so it was like super cheap rent, and Windermere's an expensive town.
Well, do you have any other like times when you were hanging out with him that you were just sort of like, God, that's weird, or something like that?
I don't know if you thought about it. He was very socially awkward other than that. I mean, I know there was a story that I was told when he first moved here by his own mom, and that was him stabbing a dude when he was like 14 years old. So I doubt anyone even knows. This happened in California before his family even moved over here. But he stabbed, I guess, from what I understood, he was walking down the road. He was like 14 years old in California, and some guy had catcalled his girl, and he flicked the guy off. The guy was like a drunk 40-year-old man who proceeded to run across the road and beat the living tar out of him. Well, apparently Stephan at 14 years old was one of those kids who carries knives on him, and he stabbed him and missed his heart by like barely a millimeter.
Wow.
So almost killed him. That was when he was 14, and I know he had a whole bunch of therapy afterwards because apparently the beating kind of messed with his brain or something where he could like fly off the handle really easily. Like, he would just get super angry really quick. And I only saw a couple flashes of that during our relationship together, but I mean, that was like him throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I would view that. You know, like where I've never seen a grown man throw a temper tantrum before.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, I don't even see 7-year-olds throw temper tantrums.
Yeah, it sounded like that was similar. I knew a guy playing soccer. This guy was like, I don't know, it was such a weird thing. We were playing soccer. Something happened, then I looked down the field. He's laying on his back, and he's bouncing up and down, like pounding, like almost convulsing. And I was like, what are you doing? And
yeah,
all he was doing
I've never
was
seen that kind of attitude from a grown adult before.
Right, he was definitely
weird.
He was like, I don't know, 20.
But I will say, of that entire family, Dad seemed normal. Mom, on the other hand, is a whole different beast altogether. Like, she raises championship poodles. She's the meanest, rudest, loudest, most racist person I've ever, and openly racist. I mean, she doesn't hide it. Just obnoxious person I've ever met in my life. Like, my sister used to run a Publix down here, and she was hated by the entire staff. Like, how do you get hated by a bagger? Like, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, but everyone knew this lady when she walked through the door. She said she was an ex-Air Force drill sergeant, a Special Forces drill sergeant, no less. I don't know. That could be true, could be false, who knows. But other than that lady was she was a whole different beast, and like, he was attached to her by the cord. Like, it was really weird. Their relationship was weird. Dad seemed to hate the rest of the family.
I'm just
Yeah, Dad was like never around really. Dad would pop in like on weekends here and there, and he slept in a separate bedroom, and then he would go back to doing real estate stuff and disappear for weeks on it down south. I mean, that was like all the time.
Probably wanted to get away from his kid.
I know. That's my impression I always had of him was, he doesn't like the wife and he doesn't like the kid.
He got dealt a bad hand, it sounds like.
Yeah, it seems like. And the other son, I want to keep calling him Brett for some reason, but I can't remember his name because he never came around. But I think he was military and lived in North Carolina, from what I understand. And I think when he had kids, he made an attempt, like sent them pictures of the family on Christmas kind of thing. And that was like the first thing he had done in like 15 years. So I don't know what happened in that family with that side, but I mean, what makes his son disappear from his family for 15 years by choice?
Yeah. So it sounds kind of like, I mean, this arrest warrant, he has the thing about he has all those photographs on his phone. So it sort of sounds kind of similar.
The interview where he's cracking his knuckles, he used to do that. Like, so, I mean, we were like popular party kids back in high school. At least me and my circle of friends was, and he was a part of that because he was like my friend. And so we got into a lot of fights with other kids and stuff like that. And that was just something he always did when he had this weird thing about like portraying being the most alpha guy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. What do they say? All bark, no bite. That was kind of him. And he used to do that all the time. He used to drive us nuts because it pissed everyone off, where he would sit there and just start cracking his knuckles non-stop. And it would be so aggravating. And that was one of the things we were talking about on Instagram today, because we had a pretty tight circle of friends, and we've all gone our separate ways, had kids, and done all that stuff. And we have an Instagram chat with a lot of us in it, and obviously he's never been in it, but a lot of us other ones are in it. And we were just all talking today about a whole bunch of stuff we remember of him back when we were younger, and being like, damn, how did we not notice? Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and what about the part about him? He factory reset his phone. Like, we were reading that earlier. It's like, what a dummy.
Okay, the kid's not that dumb. I could tell you that. That's a 100% chance. That is a 0 possibility chance with the kid. The kid is really smart when it comes to computers. Like I said, at least when it comes to certain things, he's really smart. We're gamers. And we grew up gaming before, the internet is the way it is. So we used to go in and go into the codes and change all of our settings and do all that kind of. We were really big.
Did you play Doom though? Hey, I played the original Doom with the.
I played Doom on a floppy disk.
Remember we had to play the phone? You had to put the phone and do the 9600 baud, and then got to 1440, and it was like, whoa, yeah, this is incredible.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. But obviously he factory reset
for that to happen. He did it. Yeah, there was no way. That's a physical impossibility. Like, the second so we had like a thing in the chat where I saw the video where he was sitting behind the mom in the interview, and when I saw that live, at least when it was posted by the news channel, and when I saw that, I literally said, "Oh, he did it." I was like, I can look that kid in the face. So he has tells. He's just a bad liar. Always has been, always will be. Everyone knows and everyone says he's always been he was kind of creepy. Like, all his ex-girlfriends have messaged me the last day or two, and that's like a common reoccurring word used to describe him, as creepy.
No, man.
So it's just I don't necessarily know exactly the details of what they saw or what kind of things who knows.
Did you see that interview with the mother, and he's in the background there, and then he sort of gets up and walks away at one point?
Yeah, so I don't think it's on camera, but how that started was kind of wild too. The way he grabs the chair and just walks up and slams it down on the floor, and it just kind of plops his feet down one at a time, stomping them into the ground. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Must
be weird just for you in general, right? Like, it's weird, right?
It's definitely weird for all of us.
Yeah.
All of us, because like I said, we were party kids, so we hung out with a lot of people. So there's a lot of people that are just girls from all up and down the state have been messaging me, being like, "I'm in tears. This is crazy. I'm throwing up," and I'm just like, "That's
I don't even know really what to say about that. I'm just kind of like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I come from a military family, so I've been around some crazy,
Right.
I've been around death and things that happen plenty of times.
I don't think they're
life,
really
but...
throwing up. They just wanted to make you impressed that they were
exactly.
so emotionally
kind of,
affected.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's a lot. I haven't talked to these people in like 15 years. Half these people are messaging me.
It's like a reunion, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy, all of us talking about it and just like the things we remember and kind of being like, maybe we should have thought a little harder about that. Maybe we should have followed up with our buddy when he told me what happened. Maybe I should have followed up because I didn't talk to my buddy for years afterwards either. I was like, take the money and report them. I was like, what are they going to do? But I'm going to assume they didn't report him, obviously. So but I know his mom paid him off because my buddy was hurting and my buddy got an apartment right after. So
so you guys
don't go from having no money to having
that
money.
he worked at Disneyland. So how long was he there? Do you think he was doing anything there with cameras? And stuff?
If he was at Disney, it was only for a year, as of like September 26th or something like that.
But he obviously worked there for the kids, right? Because there were kids there. I
would assume because so when people told me that he had got a job at Disney, I thought that was really weird. To be honest with you, I just thought that was weird in general because like his dad does real estate and he's worked for his dad forever. Like that's just what he does because he can't do anything else because he's terrible. He wakes up when he feels like it, does whatever work he wants to do. He's just one of those lazy kind of people when it comes to that. Just does whatever he wants.
You're talking about
floats by life.
But you're talking about him.
And Daddy and Mommy always bailed him out of every issue he ever had. So they moved to the other side of the state to get away from his charges that he had when he was a kid from stabbing that guy. So they moved literally all the way across the state so no one would know him in that town anymore.
Do you think that's a true story that did you talk to your friend?
I don't know. That was his mom that told me that.
No,
so,
I'm talking about the other story.
A long time ago.
I'm talking about the other one. The one, do you think it's a true story that the mom paid off your roommate to not share the stuff?
Yeah. So that kid I actually trust a lot.
Yeah.
Me and that kid have been through thick and thin. I mean, like he's
jeez.
Like when someone used to go down with the cops and rat one or the other person out, and that kid just won't rat someone out. He's that kid.
Well, what's weird about it is the mom. That means she was aware that her son has a propensity.
Oh, the mom's definitely aware because I called her son all sorts of those names and called her out on all of it to her face. So I definitely know she knows for sure.
Oh yeah, when made you call him that to their face? Like when was that?
With all the land stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess the IT guy. Yeah.
After that.
But with all his stuff.
And how many years ago was that?
That was like 12 years ago, probably. 10, 12 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, that's quite a.
I don't have it marked in the calendar, but it's like 10, 12 years ago.
You didn't write it down? Give me the exact date. I need the time and.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm literally judging because I'm like, how long have I been dating this girl? 7 years? Okay, yeah, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
I'm like, it must be like 10 to 12.
Yeah, before that. Huh. So, what else you got? Can you think of anything else, just offhand? Anything that people have been saying in your Instagram that you remember them talking about, or?
Not really, other than like he always went for the youngest girl at the party. I mean, which is kind of crazy. I can't really confirm that honestly because I was young and I wasn't really paying attention to those things, so I don't even know. But
other people notice.
I believe that. Yeah, other people say. I mean, that's a running theme in the chat that we have. So, but other than that, I mean, all of us ended up normal. We're just kind of like, but he was the one kid, so all of us, a few of us had different falling outs at different periods in time. A lot of us stopped hanging out with each other. I went my own way with esports and other things like that, and then they went their ways with kids and wives and all sorts of stuff like that. And Stephan was the only one who was never in any of our chats, any of our Facebook conversations. Like, we had a big group of friends, and we all still talk almost on a daily basis, at least with a message or two, nothing big or anything, but we just chat back and forth on Facebook and stuff. And he's the one guy who's never been in any of those with anyone, because It's like when I stopped being friends with him, everyone stopped being friends with him. And not because they were... It's almost like the only reason he was ever around was because me and him were so close that he was always with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's a lot. The kid was kind of a whack job growing up.
Did you ever go on, like, just you and him go do stuff together?
Oh, yeah, we did stuff all... I mean, we would shoot. I got pictures on my Facebook of me and him shooting bows and arrows and everything. We partied all the time, and we smoked a lot of weed. Like, we did all sorts of stuff. We went hiking. Like, we were basically like brothers. We lived together. I mean, we drove the same car. We lived together. We worked both under his dad for like a year or two together. Like, we did all sorts of stuff together. I mean, I helped them raise their newest line of poodles and all that.
Wow.
I lived with him in 1, 2, 3, 4 different homes over the years.
Did you ever... But after the time where he pulled out the gun, you never lived with him again after that, or?
No, I never even talked to him after that. I deleted him from everything I owned at that point in time and never talked to that kid again. I was at the point in my life where I was kind of like... At that point, I was already done with the partying and stuff. I mean, I was like 24, 25 years old. I was kind of already done with the partying scene. Wasn't going downtown anymore. Wasn't getting into trouble anymore. I was kind of a troublemaker growing up, so I was kind of done getting in trouble and changed my life around. I was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And so when the gun was drawn on me, I've had guns drawn on me before. And that was kind of the time where I was like, you know what? I feel like this is always my fault for being in the wrong situation. And that's why I moved out. I was like, yeah, I just don't need to be around this.
Probably.
And for the last
smart.
12 years or so, it's been pretty accurate. No guns.
Well, there you go. Probably a smart move. Probably a smart move.
It's just like, you know, and it's one of those moments where I could definitely tell you it's been long enough now that I can be like, I should have listened to my mom. She didn't like him. She never liked him. And like,
yeah, mom.
I should have just listened to my mom.
They have that instinct somehow.
Yeah, it's one of those weird moments where I've heard that line so many times in my life.
Although it sounds like his mom wouldn't have had that instinct.
No, his mom was she was like, it's so hard to describe her because of how vile of a woman that lady is. And this is coming from, I have a person in my family who's extremely racist that I dislike very much so. And even that lady is nowhere near the levels of depravity his mom is. Like, she's just a cruel, evil, mean person. And I've just never seen someone who's inherently like that. Like, that's crazy to me. I've seen people who have beliefs and do bad things because of those beliefs, but I've never seen someone who's just like, oh, you're literally just evil. You're just a bad person. And that's her. It's just weird. She's mean to be mean.
Yeah, not very. Probably maybe had something to do with I don't know if she created him or his behavior made other people act a certain way. I mean, the dad seemed like
which is highly possible because I was like that growing up. I mean, like, I was a kid that definitely had to be slapped around. You couldn't tell me not to do something because I did it anyway. So, you know, I took a little bit of an aggressive stance from my father, but, you know, where I'm at in my life at this point, I kind of understood that I was one of those kids who kind of needed a firm hand every now and then because I just didn't learn otherwise.
Somebody just sent me something. Oh, okay. So it's the full interview with him. Let's see. Well, what else? Anything else? I mean, I'm just trying to get as much from you as I can because, maybe we'll do another show. If you happen to be watching, you can call in again if you find something else out or not.
Yeah, honestly, I've just been like hitting YouTube up and just typing his name in, just seeing what pops up and being loose. I was like, what's been on in the last hour? And your thing was the first on the list. So I was like, click that.
Oh, cool.
I didn't even know there was a call until someone, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was just listening to it until someone had a call. Someone, Kathleen or someone, said call in.
You're Chase, right?
Why not?
Is that your Chase?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you said your name as you came in, but people in the chat seem to already know who you were. up in.
Yeah. I signed up with that YouTube for ages and ages ago, and I just never changed the name. I could care less if people know who I am.
All right. Well, hey man, I appreciate you calling in, and
Not a problem. I figured some little insight into that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right. Well, thanks a lot.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. All right. Well, thanks, Chase, for calling in there. That was pretty interesting, wasn't it? What's this one over here? Oh, it's the other one. I don't think I've watched this one.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your first, your last name, and spell them both out for me.
Okay.
I haven't seen
Jennifer
this one
Soto,
yet.
JENNIFERSOTO.
Let's just listen to that.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe.
And anyways, sorry about the confusion up there, Sirius Black and everybody else. I didn't know what you guys were talking about. Yeah, we went over the, remember this document right here? We went over this earlier. Things are blacked out. I mean, it's almost hard to read it because it's just too graphic. It's disgusting. Just in general, it talks about for the last 2 years, he'd been taking photographs of himself having sexual, moments with Madeline. So that means she was like 11 and 12 and just turned 13. And they describe, his body part. It just kind of goes through the whole thing, and it's just sick as hell, man. Is what it really is. So I don't know how else to. It's not one of those things you can actually just read.
All I keep thinking about is
she's kind of like shaking.
Where is she?
What's she doing?
Is she safe?
What's she doing?
Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but it was actually way before that.
She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
Well, I mean, I was weird because Zozo and you, Jessica, and everybody was like, wow, that's amazing. And I was like, what are we missing? What are we missing? Send me an email. But it was the same thing we already read. That's why it was confusing.
Sorry.
What's that? Is that her boyfriend? Making weird. Does she have another kid or something? Or
that should be it. Sorry about that.
who is that? Who's making that? Oh, it's a parrot? Oh my God, really?
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that we'll put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted.
Did you hear what I said? Sirius
walking,
Black?
By the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it. Yeah.
What has the school said? Have you been in contact with the school?
Yes.
Well, she went to pick up her kid.
That they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras.
Oh, you want to see the real world?
I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras. Is too far
Yeah,
away
it's
from the
true.
sidewalk. Everything is too
Pretty
grainy.
disgusting,
so they can't
isn't it?
see
Sirius
specific
Black.
faces. But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not at all.
To just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful.
That's her right there.
So, yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working. But she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and
it wasn't really worth reading, though, was it? Serious
yeah,
Black.
That was it.
It's pretty disgusting. I mean, it's basically what I said, but more graphic.
But yeah.
13?
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13. Madeline.
She just turned 13.
Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
She just became too old for this guy.
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
Friends, the friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well.
The swamp back there.
And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek, rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer.
So this interview is just today, so that means her boyfriend has already been arrested. So she's doing this interview knowing that he's been arrested.
If there is one, if they can do one, I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now.
This is only 8 hours ago.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much.
To bring her back.
Why isn't he asking about that?
What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can.
I mean, they've already had that press conference where they don't think she's alive.
They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time...
This is like just before she was found.
I went to work and came back. She was at James' house or Sabrina's house. And maybe I forgot to check that house. Or she played
they needed somebody else other than this guy asking questions.
There or something like that.
We've looked everywhere.
Stupid.
Oh gosh, I just had to tip my tongue.
The walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house. I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think, oh gosh, I just had to tip my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And this is not like her.
How does she know?
To run away.
She wasn't even awake.
Anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
I mean, this video was uploaded 8 hours ago. That's usually like right after it was live. So 8 hours ago is just before the body was found. However, her boyfriend had been arrested last night, and they had a press conference early this morning saying that they don't believe she's alive. So I don't know if this was just posted way late or something. Maybe this was taken yesterday and they just uploaded it today. I don't know.
Tom, any questions? No. Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling?
Well, he ended up saying he dropped her off at school.
Madeline.
We are desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just
hey freaks,
please
don't
bring her
forget to
home.
help support the channel tonight with all the people watching.
I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up, and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with. Any app. No weird conversations. Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself.
Thank you, Georgina.
Let's just say to take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no time? I think that was everything.
Oh, he's there. Yeah.
First question is if I can.
This obviously is uploaded. This is from yesterday, and they re-uploaded the full video.
Get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan Sterns.
Notice the low ears.
P-H-A-N.
What's that like? Hey Chase, what's that like looking at this guy right here? That must be weird for you. You know, somebody that you've talked to all the time, and you're looking right at his face.
Yes.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off.
Hey, thanks, B.
Everything looked fine when I
Fifth
drove away.
super on a live stream.
It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out, and I love her. She said thanks, love you
I'm
too.
sure you did, yeah.
That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly
Had a great
be?
day, I love her.
I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't
hell out
normal
of here.
behavior.
This is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can be.
Isn't that weird? That somebody can just lie like that and have the little cries and the tears and thank you, True Crime Sushi.
We're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
That's like monsters do that shit, man. That's the greatest line in the world. Look at that one. Do you blame yourself? Look at his face. Watch it. Watch it.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
No, God, he's almost about to laugh right there. Look at that face. He's about to laugh because he's like, well, you know, he was thinking how ironic that was. Look at this.
It's hard not to.
It is hard not to, knowing that you were the one that killed her, isn't it? Wow, what a crazy question right there, man. There you go. He redeemed his question. Hey, thank you. Vibes off today. Oh yeah, didn't you call in or something earlier?
Why?
Yeah, you did. You called
early.
in. Vibes off.
I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
What a weird thing to look back and, as a reporter saying, do you in some way blame yourself? And it turns out he's actually the killer.
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well, and but it just keeps coming in waves. Just the reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We just
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops.
Well, with the cops, right? When you pointed where you put her? Is that what you're...
And we looked all up and down the road.
I know you can't see it because I'm not putting it on the screen. I don't want to...
Cameras were pointing the street.
It's like I can do a little bit like fair use. Look, hey, yeah, there you go. So.
The church across the
street. I can't play their full YouTube video.
We had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage, and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had a 13th birthday party. She was happy that we were all together here. And
God, that's crazy.
Very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
You guys are still going down the mom route again? I mean, is that what you guys are all focusing on still? The mom.
Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
Oh no, you're fine. You didn't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers?
You know, my thing is, I wonder what the stressor that made him kill her. You know, so it's like something changed in the dynamic, whether she was going to come forward and say something, or maybe he got her pregnant at some point, and he knew somehow he found out that, or she said something, and then he was like, oh boy, you know, this I can't have this happening, because there's no out on that, right? Like if she's pregnant, there's no out for him. If she said she was going to tell somebody, he might be able to, you know, convince her not to, or something like that. But if somehow he got her pregnant in one of those, you know, episodes that we were looking at there, but maybe near the end, then there's no out, and that might have created a situation where that's what he thought he had to do.
To know when they see this.
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Oh, bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
Oh, so he said is. Man, he really worked on that. He practiced that. He didn't say was.
Getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now.
That's not harder to get now.
In what complete senses would that be?
Yeah, abortions are just like they were before. Yeah. Everyone makes it sound like it's They're trying to make a
they
political
started off
statement.
like any other. I just want to wake up.
Have you noticed nobody's complaining at all anymore? And
You just get hit with waves of the reality. Just it's setting in. So
I just think
dark
it's
last night. We really,
the part about they're harder to get, et cetera, has nothing to do with why he would do it. It would be that he has no out, because they would say, "Well, how did you get pregnant?" And then she'd have to end up explaining it, right? So it has nothing to do with how it's harder to get, and maybe the mother's against it, et cetera. I mean, that's irrelevant. Okay. I think it's the, if the mother wasn't against it, she'd still be going. I mean, was against it. She'd be going, well, how the hell did you get pregnant? So I don't know if this is even a reality. I'm just saying that that's a scenario where I could see somebody like him doing what he is doing because he has no out if she was pregnant. Now, if she's saying that she's going to go tell mom, get something, and she, and maybe, I don't know, she couldn't have told mom already because mom, it just doesn't make sense that she told mom and mom's okay with it, and then he goes and kills her, right? So for me, that sort of proves that mom didn't know this. Because if she said, oh, I'm going to tell mom, and you guys are all saying, oh, mom knows, she knows, then why would he care if she told mom? So maybe he threatened to tell somebody else, but I think I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out the answer to that. They're going to obviously do an autopsy.
falling apart because we knew it wasn't going to come to an end.
Thank you, snarky Cinderella.
And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Just conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Just because you hold it there for me.
Okay, hey, well, thanks for sending me that, Zozo. That way we were able to listen to it. Now, what's going on, you guys, with all these ridiculous cases? You had the Audrey Cunningham, where her, I don't know if all of you have been following the Audrey Cunningham, but that was a case where her father's roommate, who lived in an outside, like a trailer, I guess, he pretended he was taking her to school too. I mean, how weird is that, right? I mean, did this guy get the idea from that? I mean, what an idiot. So he goes, yeah, I'm taking her to school in the morning, and then didn't take her to school, and he had actually talked to the mother via text the night before, saying, hey, the mother didn't have any visitation rights, so had a conversation to make it look like the mom wanted to go see the daughter so that police would pin it on her, and I think he was going to kill her in that case to make it look like she abducted the child and you just can't find her. But anyways, he took her and he assaulted her and then killed her and put her under a bridge and weighted her down with a rope and weight and a rock. And then now we have this one. Jeez, it's ridiculous. No, I haven't seen that one. Too many going around. It's hard to focus in on more than just a couple. But anyways, I don't think I have much more to offer tonight, you guys. It's just sort of, that's it. Well, hopefully they give us more answers. I'd like to see the I hope that they have more, like a larger document. But that's, the arrest warrant is the arrest warrant. They might have a different one later, like for the charges he gets, where it has a little bit more detail. Except I don't really want to read the details in this one. I don't mind most cases, but the way who's ever writing these documents seems to write like they're into porno or something. It's just sort of a not, what you want in these documents is a little bit more generic way of writing it instead of talking, using kind of crude terms and shit like that. I didn't like it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not one of the people that uses terms like unalived or, you know, SA'd for sexual assault and stuff. I say all the words, but this is that's just too much. I don't like. If it was adults or something, I would probably read it, but with kids, it's just like, you know, it's not good. So. Anyways, I want to say thank you to, man, what a long day of shows. 6 hours for like barely getting over a normal night. Thank you, Catherine Andrews, Whiskey Boots, Spencer B, Jessica Schubach, Rhonda A, Kendra B, Avi, Three Boys Mom, 12 months, Kathy Chapin, Rhonda, Three Boys Mom, Bridget Bauman, WVR, Mustang Sally, Sirius Black, Georgina Stoliker, B, True Crime Sushi, Vibes of Today, and Snarky Cinderella. And thank you, Chase and Avi, for calling in. Appreciate it. So there you go. Guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's a long day for very little super chats. So that's how I look at it. Man, if it was like that every day, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. But hey, we made it through a day, you guys. We made it through a day. And you go, well, why do you care about that? Because we do a lot of great shit. I mean, last year, this channel donated $58,000 to a DNA fund and various other charities. So I try to push for, and it also helps me make an income on here. So I push for super chats and income coming in and people joining the channel and becoming channel members. And that's all part of the income and the ad revenue, but there's very little ad revenue on live streams. But there's decent revenue on videos. If you put out a video that gets, 15 to 20,000 views, it can do okay, right? But if you put out a video on Joe Average Case, it hardly gets viewed whatsoever. So there you go. That is the specifics. Forgot her cell phone. Yeah, I mean, the whole cell phone left at home. So I think he left it there, and she's just saying, oh, wow, she left her phone at home. It's not really that weird. And he probably said something like, oh, wow, she left her phone here. But yeah, she does that sometimes. And then she just sort of parroted what he said without really thinking about it too closely. But he made sure that that phone was at home so she couldn't be tracked or found. Obviously. All right, so thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is... Well, thanks, Ginger, for the PayPal. Crime dissector, flag rejector, I'm a certified human lie detector. Thank you. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get
all right. Hey, thanks everybody. Really great show.
Well, thanks, Mary Lou. I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Well, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking about my job on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Gee.
Oh boy. Here we go.